When it comes to cows, we need a cow pasture. So let's purchase a cow pasture first. There you go, it's done. Did I screw this up? Of course I did. But that's alright, it's fixable. You can fix these bumps by going here and middle mouse. With the middle mouse we can smooth this hill here like so. But then okay, yeah, we can smooth this one as well to kind of even it out, maybe, hopefully, like so it's not too hilly. Let's see. Yeah, looks better. Now it's smoothened out. That is how you place your cow pasture. Now, I only have $70,000 to work with, so we need to buy some cows. If you get to the store, press R, the animal dealer opens up, and we can buy cows. You can buy cows and have them delivered to you for $200 per cow, right? Or you can rent an animal transporter, which is not this one, which is probably the cheapest one is this one. You can fit 6 cows, but these ones you'll need a tractor trailer to actually transport, which are a lot bigger. Let's see how much they cost. $4,000 to lease. Cheapest one cost $1,200 to lease. Alright, I only have $70,000, so let's see if I start with 10 cows, how much money? Actually, it will be like $10,000. So yeah, I wouldn't it's not much money of a loss. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll probably start with 6. How much money is that? 16,200. Yeah, because it's the same amount as you would rent a trailer. We're gonna need one of those trailers if we wanna sell a cow. Either rent it but with 10 cows, it's gonna take a long time before we before the cow multiply. It's not gonna say anything here. Okay, what do cows need? They need water, they need straw, they need the total mix ratio. We're gonna look into hay, silage, they need grass. Well, these are either one of these will work, but if you read here, animals always need water. They also require a clean feeding area, and some require straw. Feed them any of the following food types for best results. Provide the most effective food type. Total mix ratio is the most effective, 100%. Hay or silage is the 75%, and grass effectiveness 25%. So you can go with either one of these types. We're gonna look into the total ratio mix, but by the time we complete the total ratio mix, we're gonna feed them with grass, which is the easiest one, so they can have something to eat. When we look at the food for cows, the bottom one says grass. Well, we have grass everywhere. You can seed grass and have it growing. Once you seed the grass, it will always grow. Um, Also, you have grass everywhere. If you look at around your farm, this grass right here, this is yours. You can cut this grass. All right, anything right there, there's grass. You can cut it, you can mow it, or whatever. Or you can seed your own grass. If you have a seeder, and if you switch the seeder by pressing Y, it says barley. I don't know if you can see it right here. Barley, oat, quinoa, soybeans, oilers, grass. There we go. Grass is the one that we need. And I'm gonna hire a worker to do the job here to plant the grass. And if you look at it, it says food type grass, growing, or in growth, growing. Fertilize 0. Well, we can fertilize it, or we don't have to. I mean, you can fertilize it, but we'll see. So, why is grass so important? Well, from grass you get hay. From grass you get silage. And to get to the total mix ratio, you need hay and silage. Guess where you get hay and silage from? Grass. Alright, so grass is very important for cows. And of course straws. For bedding and for the total mix ratio. Now, when it comes to straw, how do we get straw? You can buy straw from the store, or you can collect your own by harvesting. How do you collect straw? Let's look into. I mean, I already know how to collect it. Just the way you can find all this information is under this icon here. If you scroll down to the straw, it says when you harvest wheat, barley, or oat, you can set your harvester to create straw swaths, which is pretty good information. Straw swaths can be picked up into bales by using a baler. Alternatively, straw can be picked up by loading wagons. You can sell it directly, use it as a bedding for cows, or use it as a component for total mix ratio. So we're gonna definitely need a straw. Okay, since I have wheat here already growing, I'm going to start the combine, pick up the header, and hire a worker to do the job for me while I do something else. And the hay, straw, this is the straw right there. What's coming at the back of the combine or harvester, that is the straw. That is what we need to pick up for the bedding of the cows. Now, when it comes to collecting straws, you definitely want to invest in the loading wagons. One of these loading wagons. Yes, they are pricey, but believe me, they are a steal compared to other equipment that you're gonna need to accomplish the same results that I will mention later on. So how do you pick up with the loading wagon? Is you attach the tractor to it, or attach it to the tractor. Press V to lower that thing right there, the pick it upper. Press B to turn it on, and just drive over the straw like so. If you look at the right bottom corner where it says straw and the bar is kind of filling up, the yellow bar is filling up, that is your straw being filled up in the wagon. When you're done picking up straw with the loading wagon, you want to bring that loading wagon to this location right here. And when you see the let's move this other way. When you see the start overloading and the I says I straw, you can safely press that I button, and as you look at that field there, it filled up with the straw. Alright, and if you look at the cows here, straw has been full. We have a lots of straw for our cows. Here's another thing, another tip. If you need this wagon for something else, you can always unload this straw somewhere, so you know where it is. You might need it, so it's not in your way. By pressing left control I, and it's gonna start unloading. You can move forward a little bit, like so, and you can always pick it up back with the same equipment, the loading wagon. This way, this one is empty, so we can focus on picking up some grass. We need grass for the cows. When it comes to mowing grass, you want to look into mowers and either buy or lease one of these mowers. I would buy, for this small farm, I would buy this mower right here. It covers 4.3 meters and is the cheapest out of all. It is $16,000, but it's a good investment. Now, when it comes to mowing, you cannot hire a worker to mow this type of grass right here, but you can hire a worker if you have growing grass or grass ready to be harvested from this type of field. You can then hire a worker to do the job himself, just the way I planted a grass seeds on that far field there. That is when I can hire a worker to do that. But to cut this grass, you have to do it yourself manually. So press X to unfold this type of grass mower, V to lower, B to activate, and you are off cutting grass. Cutting grass is pretty fun to do. So yeah, take your time, have fun. When you're done with mowing the grass, then it's time to pick up the grass, and you guessed it, with our favorite loading wagon. This thing replaces a lot of equipment. Equipment such as like this. You would have to own something like this to pick up the grass, and we'll roll it up and turn it into a bale. Or equipment like this that's pricey will again pick up the grass, turn it into square bales. Or like this, we'll pick up the grass, turn it into round bales, and wrap it up for you to turn it into silage. Or this that only wraps square or round grass bales. And then you would probably need to have something like this that picks up only square bales, or you would want to have to own one of these to pick up bales. This one also collects square bales, but only collects 3 of them. And this one does collect bales, actually doesn't collect bales. You have to manually load the bales onto this trailer. So yeah, it does replace a lot of equipment, a lot. When you're done picking up some of the grass, you can drive it over to this area here and unload some of the grass for the cows to start feeding. And of course they need a lot of grass. Look at that. Alright, let's check out cows. 21,000 for the grass. Oh boy. And look at the silage here. So silage, we have to have a bunker silo. Put grass in there, drive it over, compress it, and then let it sit to fermentation. That's what it's called. To finish. When it comes to silage, there's multiple ways to create silage. You need to cut grass first, pick it up, and then pick it up with one of these equipments, like either with this equipment and have it rolled up into a round bale, and then roll it up. Wrap it up with the wrapper, or with this type of equipment that will. I think this equipment, it says it rolls bales. Wraps rectangular and round bales, but I never tried to wrap a round bale. I only tried to wrap a rectangular one, and I was successful. So yeah, you have to keep on that. I only tested out on the rectangular ones, not on the round. So it's, yeah, careful. I would rent these before buying, but yeah. So this one makes rectangular bales. This one collects grass, rolls grass into a round bale, and wraps it up for you. Okay, so that's one way. Now let's look at my way. All you have to do is own a loading wagon, which is this one that I have, and then you want to buy one of the silos, which is the bunker silo, which is this one. For this farm, a small one should be good enough. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So 15,000, not bad. Let's see if I can put this anywhere. Maybe here, like so. There you go. It's been done. All you have to do, the grass that you picked up with the wagon, drive over to it, like so. If you want, you can hit the wall as well. It's no big deal. Wall is indestructible, so you don't have to worry about that. And dump the grass into the bunker silo. All you have to do is drive a tractor over the, actually, here we go. So it says compact 1%. If you drive over it, it's going to keep going. Now it's 3, 4%, 5%. As you can see, the compacting goes up. It has to go up to I think either 10% or 100%. I usually do the 100%. When you end up with the 100% compacting, all you have to do is drive your tractor out, jump out, and press R to cover the compacted grass. And now it's saying formatting silage 1%. So it's gonna take about 24 or less than 24 hours for it to actually turn into a silage. Once it turns into a silage, all you have to do is uncover it and feed it to the cows. You can either feed it to the cows from here, from this point, like picking up with the wagon and dumping it to the feeding location, or you can use it for the total mix ratio. When it comes to giving cows water, there's a couple ways you can do this. You can open up your shop, go under the animals. You can buy one of these tankers, but I wouldn't. If you scroll to the right and look at one of these tankers at the end, this one holds water and milk, so does this one. But if you look at the first one that I mentioned, only holds water. So what does cow give? Give us milk. What do they need? They need water. So I would go and either lease or purchase one of these tankers. Now, where do you get water? There are many ways you can get water to fill up these tankers. One way is to go on to the house here, miscellaneous, and purchase a $5,000 water station. It fills up your water quickly, your water tanker quickly, and it's an infinite water holder, like it holds infinite amount of water. Another way is to open up your map and look at the lakes and rivers and ponds, and just drive your tanker to one of these rivers, ponds, or lakes and fill them up there, like so. If I open up my control, just to show you that it's going to show up a start filling. There you go. I don't even have to get the tanker into the water. Just close enough to the water, press R, and it's going to start filling up. And I'm just going to back up, so or maybe just stop the filling, just to show you where else you can fill up your. If you're really on the budget and you don't have enough room for the water tanker, which I showed you, which is under the miscellaneous here, and you're really on the budget and you just don't have enough room for the field, you can also stop by your neighbor right here on your way to the farm on the off this road, and he also has a tanker. If I turn this on, and you can fill up here as well. And it's actually close to your farm, so it shouldn't be a much of a hassle to do. It saves you $5,000. Since I'm on the budget here, I'm just gonna visit my friend there and fill up the water, this tank with the water. And I just discovered something. Look at this. Even this place has a water right here. This blue. I was curious about what on earth is this. I drove by it, and it says start filling. So this is also a water source, probably infinite amount of water. So let's see. It does fill up pretty quick as well. So you don't even have to buy yourself a water station. Water is right here between these two trees. I was always wondering, what is this? Because I kept buying the water station, and I just drove up to it and says start filling, and I was like, oh, cool. I have infinite amount of water. Now, when it comes to giving water to the cows, you have to drive your tanker over to this area, and as soon as this I pops up and says I water, whatever, press I, and hopefully that is going to do the trick. There you go. We have some water left. I don't know if we can unload this water anyways. Oh yeah, and my farm has this pond here, or river, or what you call the you can get water off of here as well. You just have to drive close by to it. So it's really close by, right here where my farm is. You can get water. But my question is, how do I unload this water? Because I need it to be empty for the milk. That's my question. When it comes to hay, we need to either rent or buy one of these tethers. The tether turns grass around so it can dry faster. Actually, it dries immediately, pretty much. You can pick it up right after you turn it around. And what does, oh, actually, I didn't lower it, of course. And as you can see, the grass turns different color, matches with the background as well. As you can see, that's your hay, dried grass, or hay, proper name for it, right? So that is how you get hay with the tether. When you're done turning grass into hay, all you have to do is pick it up with the loading wagon and dump it somewhere else so you know where it is, and make sure you know the difference between the hay and the grass, because they kind of look alike when you dump them on the ground. That is straw there, this is hay, and those two we're gonna need for the total mix ratio. Now before we start the total mix ratio here, we need to check our silage. Is it done? I think it has to be at 100%. Oh, it's only 13%, so yeah, definitely it's gonna be like in 24 hours. Alright, another thing is, when you feed cows with grass, they'll start updating productivity only 40% because of the grass. So I'm sure when we skip to a total mix ratio, this percentage will get to 100%. But right now, look at the reproduction rate. It's at 500 hours. Every 500 hours, you get one cow. That is a lot. That is a long, long, long time, right? So hopefully, with the total ratio mix, we'll have it better result. Once your fermenting silage completes to 100%, all you have to do is approach it, press R to uncover it. So is this one? Yep. Press R to uncover. Oh, why is this one uncovered? I'm sure it's gonna uncover when we drive over it. And you can start loading it onto your bucket. Yeah, there you go, uncovers it like so. Or use a wagon and collect it with the wagon. When it comes to a tractor that can attach a front loader, none of these tractors, unfortunately, none of these tractors can be customized to be able to attach a front loader. So we need to sell one of these tractors. If you have a tractor running out there like I do, that is under the workers, and you don't know which one to sell because you want to buy another tractor so you can customize it, well, you have to drive a tractor over to the shop, drive it on the side of the shop here, you get to this icon. It does look like a tractor and some money next to it. Walk up to it, press R, and you can sell your tractor. You can even customize your tractors here as well, but since I cannot customize the front loader on it, I really don't have much use for it, so I want to sell it like so. Once you sell your tractor, you get some money out of it. You wanna buy yourself a new tractor that can be customized with the front loader like so. Front loader attach, yes. Everything else should be fine. Maybe add more power to it, but you really don't need much power, I don't think. Because let's see, how much does this cost? 77,000, 95,000. I mean, it's always good to add more power to it. It's just that I am on a budget and we are almost. So let's go with the smallest one without the stronger engine. I'm sure it's gonna be fine. Alright, next thing we wanna buy is front loader, which is either one of these or one of these or one of these. This one needs 150 horsepower, this one needs 90 horsepower, so does this one need a 90 horsepower. Let's do this one and customize it. Let's turn it to green because our tractor is like kind of whitish greenish, and we're gonna buy that. Buy this bad boy. Now also we're gonna need a bucket. There's a bucket. Let's customize that. Let's turn that into kind of greenish color. Buy. Okay, if we look at the total mix ratio again, it says here it's simple. Put into the mixer wagon 2 hay bales, 1 straw bale, and fill it up with the rest with the silage. So I did the tests, and you can do it 2 different ways. With the not with the bales, but with the scoops or buckets. These buckets. All right, to fit that small total mix ratio, you need 6 of the universal buckets of hay. If I can turn this around and load it into the. Oh, no, not like that. No. Yeah, there we go. Ah, did it. 1 down. 5 more to go. So 6 of the hay bales. Did I say 6 hay bales? No, I meant to say 6 buckets. 6 universal buckets. I'm sorry about that. There we go. So 6 buckets. Then we need 3 straw buckets, which right here. Straw, fill it up to 99%. Because this comes to that like 2 hay bales, 1 straw, and then fill it up with the rest. But this is what I did is calculated to see how much can I fit in the in that small total mix ratio, and it ends up being a 6 hay bales. Then if you fit 6 hay bales, I mean 6 buckets, again I mentioned hay bales, I need to stop mentioning bales, I don't like them. 6 buckets, so for 6 buckets you get 3, you have to put 3 straw bales, and then if you did end up with 3 straw bales, that means you need about 3 silage buckets as well. Did I again mention bales, straw bales? Jesus, I really need to stop talking about bales. Like, I really don't like it. I just don't like them at all. So there you go, 3 straw buckets. Let's do the bale. I mean silage. Jesus. And the ratio will be perfect, 50, almost 25 and 25. So that is how you can almost fill up the small ratio mixer for your cows. Now when it comes to driving, do not pay attention to my driving. When it comes to unloading this, the only way that you can unload this if you drive it this way, for the feeder to be on the left side of the tractor, and then press I and unload the feeder. And if you look at the cow's feeder here, should go up. Yeah, keeps going up. And now its productivity 98%, which that is what we're trying to accomplish. Actually 100%, but 98 is still good because cleanliness, we need to take care of cleanliness as well. Alright, finally I'm done with the feeding cows with the mixed total mix ratio. It's full now, and cleanliness is 100%, and the productivity with 6 cows 100%, you get reproduction rate of 200 hours. All right, after 200 hours, you get one cow. All right, and you can sell it for $2,000. All right, so since this is totally different from chickens, we're going to have to do the calculation on how much money we spent so far on equipment that we should own, and the rentals or lease that we didn't have to own, but at least we should lease them. Calculate those sum of the expenses and see how many hours do we have to play this game, like in-game hours. How many hours will it take for us to actually make that money back? That's another thing that I just came up with, because I just realized that some of these animals are just too expensive for us to fill them up to almost to the like, for example, cows. We can buy 50 cows, and I would buy 40 of them, right? But they're so expensive, a lot more expensive than chickens. Therefore, when I started doing cows, I was like, okay, there's gonna be a a budget. Now that I realize that cows do need a lot of equipment, now I'm thinking, okay, now I have to calculate how much I have spent on the tools to take care of cows, right? And how much time, in-game time, will it take for me to actually get that money back to start profiting from? And we'll see, is it worth our time, in-game time? All right. So yeah, we'll have to look into that. All right. So it's been about 24 hours. Cleanliness is down to 61. It should be even lower than that, but I cleaned it up before. So it should be down to like, oh, now it updated to 53%. Just as I mentioned, it updated down to 53%. Okay. Then what we have here, the productivity is down to 95. It actually goes down to 94 as well, sometimes even lower. And the reproduction rate, one goes up from 200 to 208. Total mixture ratio was still good, still on green, but the cleanliness is getting kind of orangey, so we have to tackle that. Water is still good, straw is still good in 24 hours. Grass we're not even using. I don't know if I can unload this so I can use it towards the silage to make the silage. Alright, what do we get? We get manure, a little over 1200, because there was manure there before I started the 24-hour. Same thing with the slurry, about 1400. Milk is like 686, because I checked it before I started. It was there was still 100 milk there, but we're gonna just go with this number, 24 hours, whatever. And when it comes to collecting milk from cows, you probably want to own not this, but I don't know if I mentioned it before, but this type of tank, which can hold either milk or water. So either one. If you have some milk left over, you have to sell it to collect water. If you have some water left over, then you are screwed. You're gonna have to wait till you empty the water. There's no other way to empty water. You cannot empty it in a field or anywhere else except onto the water feeder of the cow, for the cows. That's the only place you can do that. I learned that the hard way. So you have to be careful when you fill up the tank with water. So in this particular scenario, I wouldn't want to own this type of tank, I would lease it. All right, it's not expensive. It is actually only $1,275. All right, now let's see how much money can we make off of milk. But we first have to pick up the milk, which is right here on this side of the feeder or pasture, cow pasture. It is right here, and if I open up my controls, it says R start filling, milk. Yes, start filling milk, and milk is almost instantly filled because it's just a little bit. I wonder, this is my question, and this is what I will probably have to test it out. It will probably take a long time. Is I wonder how much can this place hold milk? How much milk can it, like, I don't know if there's like a maximum somewhere. Like, it doesn't say how much milk can it hold. Not even manure or slurry. Like, that is why you don't have to own this particular equipment, because I'm guessing you can hold a lot of milk here. I'm guessing, so you can like go with several days before you have to come in and pick up the milk and sell it. All right, let's see, where do we sell milk? The most pricey area for us to sell milk. Where's milk? Right here. All right, for 2.5 grand at Port Grain Elevator. If you don't know where the Port Grain Elevator is, just tag it for yourself and look around, and there it is. And I'm gonna head there and see how much milk, how much money I get from it. Alright, so here we are at the Port Grain Elevator. They will give us 2.5 grand for per 1,000 liter. This is less than 1,000 liters. So let's see. Gave us $1,900. $1,900. So yeah, definitely I would hold to collect a lot of milk, at least to fill up the tank. Which this tank holds, how much does this tank hold? Animals, I forgot. 8,000 liters. So I would hold until I collect about 8,000. Ranch. Until ranch collects, or cow collect 8,000 liters of milk. Okay, now this is going to be a little more complicated to explain. Please bear with me. Alright, so how I did the calculation to come up with a 104 days, in-game days, you would have to play, alright, to get your money back, to get your about $200,000 back. After that, then only then you will be able to start profiting. Alright, just animals. Alright, just animals. Selling animals and selling milk. No other benefits included. Okay, so I'm not precise, but about 104 days. How did I get to that conclusion? 104 days. Well, here it is. At a productivity to 100%, we get reproduction rate to 200 hours. All right, so every 200 hours we get one cow. So what I did is I divided 200 with 24, and I get about 8.33. So I said, okay, let's just go with the 8. So that's 8 days. So it will take 8 days for us to get one cow. All right. And when I did that, then I focused on the milk. In 24 hours, I get about $1,900. I said 2,000, but I had to take away the 100 liters of milk because there was extra. So it is about $1,900 that we can make off of milk per day, 24 hours a day. So I multiplied 1,900 with 8, and I got 13,925, something like that. And then I added that one cow that we're gonna get after 8 days. the profit off of it, which is going to be 1,800, not 2,000, because we have to pay fee, transport fee. We're not gonna rent or buy the transport, what you call the trailer for it. There's no need. You're just gonna lose profit there, $24,000 in profit there, or lease, which is $1,200. So I added the 1,800 to the 13,925, and ends up being 15,300. No, 725. 13,725. All right, so 15,375. Then what I did is divided the 15,725 from $200,000. Ends up being about 104. I mean, ends up being actually the what was that? A different number than. Hold on, I'm sorry. I have to do that again. Oh yeah, the 13. End up being 13. Okay, so 13. That's like 13/8 days. So that means I had to multiply 13 with 8 to get to 104 days. Therefore, that is how I end up with the 104 days needing to work, like to play this game. And in-game days, it will take 104 days to collect enough money just from animals and whatever animals gives us to collect and sell to get to our $200,000. I'm sorry, I keep screwing up. I'm sorry. So I hope you understood that. If you're a mathematician, you might be able to make some sense what I just said, what I just mumbled. But if you're not a mathematician, I'm sorry if I just sounded like blah 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 blah. All right. So yeah, as I said, in conclusion, you will need to play this game about 104 days to collect that $200,000. Click the like button and subscribe. It will help me out. Either of those will help me out. And thanks for watching for this episode of On Cows. Next episode will be on horses, I believe. I hope. It's gonna take me a while to. I think horses gonna be a lot more easier than cows, because cows needed a lot of equipment, to be honest. So yeah, thanks again, and I'll hope to see you in the next video on part 3.